Seyed Mousavian, welcome to the program. What are you hearing from contacts on the ground in Iran about just what is left of Iran's nuclear program after the US strikes on the weekend?
There is no doubt, David, the Iranian nuclear facilities have been attacked, have been bombed, have been damaged. You can imagine buildings, utilities, even perhaps centrifuges have been destroyed, partly, not all. Nevertheless, if the US-Israeli strikes aim and objective was to destroy Iranian nuclear program, I'm confident they have failed. Even if they have another attack, even if they have 100 attacks, they will fail because you cannot kill technology and know-how. Iranians, they have know-how. You may destroy buildings, but this will be counterproductive at the end. But the point is you cannot destroy the know-how. Know-how is there. I mean, how you can kill the know-how. Iranians, they have the know-how technology and they can reconstruct everything. Whether that would take 1 month or 5 months or 6 months, it doesn't matter. What is the ultimate objective? They will not be able to destroy Iranian nuclear capability because Iranians, they have already the knowledge.
And is Iran's objective to rebuild that nuclear program and get back to where it was?
Iran's nuclear program has remained peaceful after revolution. Iran is a member of a non-proliferation treaty. Iran has given the most access to IAEA compared to any other IAEA member during the history of IAEA.
I'll just jump in there because the IAEA did find that Iran was in breach of its compliance obligations and had 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%. How is that part of a peaceful program?
See, David, exactly what you said is the fake and manufactured narrative always we hear in all Western media.
This is from the IAEA that you were just talking about, not from Western media. This is from the IAEA.
Yeah. No, David. Let me explain. The IAEA said Iran has in breach of some of its commitment.
But it did find there were 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%.
I mean, always the Western media discuss about half of the truth. They do not discuss the whole truth.
So what's the truth with having 400 kilograms of enriched uranium to 60%?
I will explain. Let me finish the first one. Since 2003, every year you have had 3-4 IAEA reports. Over 100 reports, a statement by the IAEA during the last 20 years have frequently, constantly confirmed there is no evidence toward weaponization in the Iranian nuclear program. This is number one. Number two, if there is even evidence, this should be decided by United Nations Security Council, not by a single state. The US violated United Nations Security Council Resolution 2231. The US violated IAEA resolutions. And so then in return, as a reciprocation, David,
to go with this, further enrichment.
No, David, I'm explaining. Let me finish it. In return, Iran decreased the level of cooperation with the IAEA. More sanctions and pressures by the US made Iran to increase more the level and the capacity of its nuclear program just for bargaining chip. It was and it is for bargaining with the US in order to bring the US to nuclear negotiations.
Okay, so this stockpile of 400 kilograms now, this bargaining chip, as you call it, this bargaining chip, do you know, was that moved before the US strikes on the weekend?
See, David, in the first term of President Trump, everyone knows President Trump killed the deal and withdrew and laid the foundation of the crisis. Second, in his second term, First, he invited Iran to come for diplomacy and negotiations. Then we had Steve Witkoff, the U.S. representative, with Abbas Araghchi, the Iranian representative. They had 3 rounds of meeting in Oman and Rome. Then they agreed on the principles of a deal. The principles were agreed. I'm confident. I was told by the Iranian sources that they agreed already on 3-4 major principles as a new nuclear deal between Iran and the US.
And just to pick up on what you've said there about some sort of broad agreement between the United States and Iran before Israel started its strikes on Iran, what can you tell us about what was agreed there?
First, they agreed on the transparency and inspection and verification measures. Iran accepted to go for the highest level of transparency and inspection measures internationally exist. Number 2, they agreed that the stockpile of 400 kilograms would be either diluted or exported. Therefore, there would be no danger or fear or concern about making 10 nuclear bombs. Third, they agreed the Iranian enrichment would go below 5%, which is civilian enrichment. Therefore, there is no worry that Iran would have 60% or 90% to make nuclear bomb. Fourth, they agreed Iran would cooperate with the IAEA to remove and to resolve all technical issues. These were 4 major principles agreed between Iran and the US in the first 3 rounds, and Israel was not happy, attacked Iran.
So let me ask you this. Will Iran, in your view, remain in the Non-Proliferation Treaty or leave?
It depends to the US. If the US would be committed to international rules and regulations, if the US would respect Non-Proliferation Treaty, if the US would respect the rights of Iran like other members of Non-Proliferation Treaty, Iran would stay. Iran, like before, would never go for nuclear bomb. Like before, Iran would cooperate at the highest level of transparency and inspections to prove its nuclear program is peaceful.
And I'm just asking, if Iran is no longer in that treaty, would there be an incentive, in your view, for Iran to accelerate efforts towards a nuclear weapon?
It depends to the US. If the US is going to accelerate hostilities, wars, assassination, terror, cyber attacks, why they should not?
That sounds like a threat.
It is American threat. It is Israeli threat. Why you are saying vice versa? Iran has been attacked. Iran did not attack. Israel attacked Iran. The US attacked Iran. But now we are discussing about Iranian threat.
Seyed Mousavian, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, David. Thank you. All the best.